Okay, guys, good evening. So let's begin the session now. I hope everyone am audible.
Yeah, audible.
So let's continue the session. So yesterday we have already seen the introduction about the Azure data engineering. So guys, I'll just brush it up once before we move further on the today's session. Okay. So guys, as you know, everyone, so Azure is nothing but what? Azure is a name used by the Microsoft to market their cloud services. Am I right? Azure is the name used by the Microsoft to market their cloud services. So hence we can say Azure is nothing but just like you have any basically what should you have it like Birla is using the marketing their grocery stores with a name called More. In the same way, the Azure is the name used by the Microsoft to market their cloud services. Then you have what's it guys? Data. So data stands for what? Information. Hmm. Without the information, nothing is there, guys, as you know already. So what do you mean engineering? Engineering is nothing but guys, everyone. Engineering is nothing but what everyone? Engineering is nothing but application of some technicality or applying some logic, applying some knowledge. So hence we can say Azure data engineering is nothing but the techniques we apply on the data by using the Microsoft Azure is called as Azure data engineering. Where as you know, Azure data engineering is a bunch of what's it guys? Cloud services. It's a bunch of what? Cloud services. So we have many cloud services intact here into the Azure data engineering, as you know. So whereas everyone, what is it? We have it as we have many cloud services are there available into the Azure data engineering. So that means what are those guys? Yesterday I have we discussed, but I'll refresh it once. The first service we call it as what? ADF, which stands for the Azure Data Factory. And then we have the ADB, which stands for the Databricks, Azure Databricks. And here, the Databricks, we are going to use it on the PySpark, guys. The language called what? PySpark. Okay. Then we have what's it, guys, everyone?
Synapse.
AD, yeah. Then we have the next one as what? Synapse. It is a Synapse. Okay, Synapse. And then we have many more services are there, but I'm using the Fabric is one of the application. And then we have the AI. So these are some of the the services provided by the Azure Data Engineering as a cloud services, guys. That's it. Now using these services, guys, what are the tasks we can achieve it here? So using these services, we can perform the following type of the task. Why these tasks are performed? These tasks we do it here by for the management of the data, guys. For what? Management of the data and for the as per the or to management of the data. Overall, you can say management of the data for the purpose of what? Management of the data. So we can say to manage the data, we perform the following task. What is it? We have it migration, data migration, guys. Then we have the data integration, data migration, data integration. Then we have the data summarization, data migration, data integration. Then we have data summarization, and then we have the data visualization, data migration, data integration, data summarization, and data visualization. So these are all the guys. These are all the tasks we can perform it for the management of the data using the Azure data engineering. Now, guys, the next one, the whole story of the Azure data engineering starts from where, guys, everyone? When you go with the Azure data engineering, the whole story of the Azure data engineering starts from the data only, guys. What is data? Accumulation of the data or getting the data or collection of data, whatever we say. So, guys, data is nothing but what, everyone? It is the information. It is the information. Now tell me, from where do we get this information? Everyone, this information we get it from the source of information, guys. Source. Now tell me, everyone, where do we get the data? Yes, guys. Any idea about this? No, data has become very common in everyday's life, in even as a common man in our life as well. Okay, without the data, nothing is there. Just like your mobile phone, you have it, and the contacts. If you don't have the contacts in your mobile phone, then guys, it will be very much difficult for you to go forward. In the same way here, the data. So data from where we get it, guys? Roughly, I'm telling you, guys, the data we get it from what? Everyone, let us say social networking sites. Social networking sites, we get the data. So what are the social networking sites? From where do we get the data, guys? We can say it as what? Facebook. Then you have the Insta, and then we have what's that, guys? X, which we call it. Previously, we call it as what? We used to call it as Twitter. Now it is X now. Okay. Then we have what's that, guys? Snapchat. Snapchat. Then we have what's that, guys? Snapchat. WhatsApp. WhatsApp. These are all the sources of data we can say, guys. But now, when we talk about the data, we get it from here. What kind of data it will be? It will be very, what's it, guys? Massive volume of the data. Massive volume of the data. So we can say huge and bulky data. This is called as what, guys? Massive amount of data. But this is not the only source from where we can expect the data, guys. We can have many other sources as well from where we can expect the data, guys. What are those, guys? The next one we can say we can get the data from the everyone. We can get the data from the what's it, guys? Everyone. We can get the data from what? We can also get the data from the banking applications. So what are banking applications? The applications which are used at the banking sector level are called as what? Banking applications. So we can say the applications, I'm writing it here, the applications used at the banks are called as what? Banking application. And these applications also generate what's that, guys? Yes, huge amount of data. Okay, but these are not the only source. Apart from this, we can have many other sources as well, guys. What are the sources? Now let us see it here, everyone. So we can say we can get the data from the live streaming process, guys. Live streaming process. So what do you mean live streaming process? The data which we get it from the live streaming process. That means what? Where you get the data on a continuous basis. The data keeps on changing every minute, okay, every second, etc. Such as we have what's it, guys, right now? Stock market. Stock market. Okay. Stock market is what? Stock market is the another source from where we get the data on the continuous basis, guys. So hence, this we can call it as what, guys, everyone? Big data. So whether you call it as a huge volume of the data or whether you call it as a big data or the massive amount of data, everything is one or the same, guys. So we can say overallly, guys, we have what is it, guys? Big data. We are going to deal with what is it, guys? Big data. So what do you mean by big data, guys? Everyone, what do you mean by big data? What do you mean by big data, guys? So big data is nothing but everyone. Big data is nothing but, guys, everyone, which is called as what? Big stands for what, guys, everyone? Huge, na? Big stands for what? Huge. Data stands for what? Information. So we can say huge information is called as what, guys? Big data. Huge information is called as what, guys? Big data. So when we talk about the big data, guys, the following are the types of, guys, the following are the types of big data we can have. What are those, guys? We can call it as what? Structured data. We can say it's as what, guys? Structured data. Then we can also call it as what, guys? Semi-structured data. The big data is classified into three categories. What are those, guys? Structured data, semi-structured data, and the unstructured data. So these are the three varieties or the classifications of the classifications of the big data we can have. What are those? Structured data, semi-structured data, and the unstructured data. Structured data, semi-structured data, and the unstructured data. So these are the three different categories of the data we can have it here, guys. That's it. Okay, these are the three different categories of data we can have it here, everyone. Okay, now let us see what is the structured data, everyone. What is the structured data? What is the structured data, everyone? What is the structured data? So we can say here, everyone, let's try to see it here. The first one called as what? Structured data. So what is the structured data, guys? The data which is kept in the proper form of a structure. That is, you can say the data which is kept in the form of a table. So table stands for what, guys? Rows and columns. Rows and what is that, guys? Table stands for what? Rows and columns. Rows and columns. Table stands for what, guys? Rows and columns. Rows and what is that? Columns. So the structured data is nothing but, guys, everyone. The structured data is nothing but, everyone. The structured data is nothing but the data which is kept in the proper form of what is it, guys? Rows and columns. The proper form of what? Rows and columns. That is in the form of a table. Now, for example, I'm writing it here. Name, ID, job, and salary. These are the four different columns you have it, guys, everyone. And I'm labeling this table name as what, guys? Employees. So you can say here you have it, the table name as employees, which has the following words, guys: name, ID, job, and salary. So I'm writing out here alien, some value here, and the job is what, guys? SE, which stands for the software engineer. Let's give the salary as what? 60,000. The same way, Bobby. Then you have what, guys? 70,000. In the same way, Cal, MGR, which is nothing but stand for manager. And now I can say 90,000. This is the, everyone. This is the, can you see here? Can you see the data here is kept in the proper form of a rows and columns? If you look into the data, you can say that this data pertaining to employees, where you have what, guys? Name followed by the columns, etc. So all these above, these are called as what, guys? Columns. These are called as a columns, and these are called as what, guys? Rows here. Am I right? So together, they all are called as what, guys? Everyone. Together, they are all called as what? Table here. Together, it is called as what, guys? Table. We can call it as what? Table here. So we can say, guys, so we can say what's it, guys? This is called as a table structured data. So we can say when you have this kind of a data, you can say it is a table structured data. It is what kind of data? Table structured data. And this data, the user can understand it very easily without any issues. Am I right? Where the top are the top rows. This one is called as a columns here. And these are the rows here, guys, everyone. These are the rows here. So hence we can say together it is called as what? Rows and columns. Together we call it as what, guys? Rows and columns. Together we call it as what? Rows and columns, everyone. Together we call it as what? Rows and columns. That's it here. Okay. So now this is called as a structured data, guys. Now the next one. Now the next one. What is the next one you have it, guys? Semi-structured data. So what do you mean by? Everyone, what do you mean by the semi-structured data, everyone? Yeah, what is the semi-structured data? So what do you mean by semi-structured data? Okay, guys, so we have what's that semi-structured data. Let's try to see this. What is a semi-structured data, everyone? Now, let us see here, everyone. What is the semi-structured data? Yeah, guys, am I audible? Everyone is falling. Please respond.
Yes, yes, audible.
Now, guys, the semi-structured. Semi-structured is nothing but, guys, the data which is not completely structured, but still it has some structure. So we can say the data which is kept in the form of what, guys? JSON file, HTML files. Then we have what, guys? XML files, etc. Okay, we have what, guys? JSON files. JSON files, we can say, guys, JSON files, and then we have what, guys? HTML files, and then we have the XML files. These are all, etc. Many more are there. These all data, you can say it as what? Semi-structured data. Now let's try to see what is a semi-structured data, guys, and what is the file data you have it in the JSON. So now, guys, I'm just discussing the first one called as what? JSON. So now when you talk about the JSON stands for what, guys? Everyone, JavaScript object notation file. JSON stands for what, everyone? JavaScript object notation file. And now you can say the data within the JSON files is recorded in the form of what is it, guys? In the form of a curly braces. So this is called as the opening brace, and this is called as a closing brace. And within this, the data is recorded like this. What is it, guys? It is in the form of what? Key value pair. What should we have it? Key value pair. Key value pair. So what is the key? The key stands for the columns, guys. And value means what, guys? The value of a column is called as a value. Pair is nothing but together, the key and the value together is called as a key value pair. Now let's try to write the data in the JSON. Same data, whatever you have it here, I'm writing it in the JSON format, guys. Let's try to see this. Everyone, let's try to see this. How the data is there. Now, guys, let's try to see this. What is a JSON files here? So now let's try to go ahead here. Everyone, so I'm using it. First of all, I'll write the key. What is the first key you have it, guys? Everyone, name is the first key you have it. So I'm writing the name. Name is what type of data? Anyways, leave it. Name is what? A column. Now, so column, when you have a column, the data will be put or the placed under the double quotes here. Then you have a colon, guys, followed by this. And now the value. So what is the value you have it, guys? ALN is the value. As you have the character value, it will be placed under the double quotes. Now the next value is there, na, comma. Next, what is the next column you have it, guys, everyone? The next column is what? ID, na? ID. So here you can say ID. And what is the value you have it in ID, guys? 332. Am I right? It's a numeric. So hence the data is not placed under the same here, guys. The next one, what is it you have it, guys, everyone? Now the next one is what? Job. The job. What is a job, guys? Job is a character data, na? So I can say software engineer. Then you have what's it, guys? Salary. Salary. And then you have a colon. What's the salary you have it, guys? Everyone? 60,000. Now this is the end of the data you have it, everyone. Okay. So here you have it, guys. Huh? So you have it here, guys, everyone. Huh? Now there is one more row two more rows are there now. So one after this, again the comma is placed, and now change the value here. What's the value you have it? I can say guys Bobby, and then you have the row here. I'm just changing the values here, and then here instead of this I'm using software engineer, and here I'm placing a 70,000. Now after this again you have one more row is there guys everyone. So one more comma is placed after the brackets, after the closing brace. Now here you can say guys one more row is there. I directly mention it here. Now again you have what's it guys? Then you have what's it guys? MGR, and then you have what's it guys? 90,000. 90,000. Can you see here everyone? This is the data. So finally there is no more data. So now this is the end of this. So now guys this is called as what? The data placed in the form of a JSON document. It is called as what? JSON document. Everyone. Huh? So this is called as what? Semi-structured data. Now the next one is what is it guys you have it everyone? Now you can say let's take XML, because HTML has some different format. So we will discuss the HTML in the later stages. Now I'm using the XML. XML is what? It is just a simple like this one only. So XML stands for what? Extendable markup language or exponential markup language. You have it where the data is kept in the form of what guys? Tags. These are called as what? Tags. Tags. It is called as what guys? A root tag. And now again you have what it guys? Row tags. These are called as what? Row tags. Row tags. So now the data will be placed between the row and row tags. Now what is a root here? Root tag you have it come to the table. You can say employees. Employees is what everyone? It is the root. So I can say guys the root tag here. It is called as a starting root tag. Starting root tag. And now what is a row tag you have it? The first row tag is name column. Na? I'm taking the same. It is called as the opening row tag. And it is called as a closing row tag. Closing means what? How to differentiate the opening and closing? You do the slash here, and the value is placed between these two. This is called as a tag here, guys. The next tag. What is that you have it? Everyone, ID is the next tag, and closing ID should be here. Closing ID is like this. It's highly case sensitive, guys. So you have to use as per the case you have it. So one mismatch also it is not accepted. So in the same way, there will be no commas here, guys. There will be no commas here. In the same way, the third row, what is it you have it, guys? Job. And this is the closing job. And job, what is it you have it? Software engineer. And now finally you have what's it everyone? Salary. What is the salary? 60,000 is the salary. That's it, guys. This is the data you have. Now, everyone, this is the one. First row is completed. Second row, I'll open. SSC. Okay, ID na. ID will place something, not the SSC. 542. Here also, I'll change the ID here, guys. Here you can say software engineer, senior software engineer. And here you can say 70,000. That should guess. The third row we have it. MGR manager. Sorry, the ID is different now. Now, finally, all the rows are completed. So I'll close the root tag. Now, guys, this is the root tag closing. So closing the tag is like this. That's so this is called as the data in the XML format. Yes, everyone. Now, okay, these are the semi-structured format you have it. And finally, guys, what is the format you have it, everyone? The final format is what? The final format of the data is called as unstructured. Everyone, the unstructured data is nothing but the unstructured data is nothing but everyone. The unstructured data is nothing but guys. The data in the form of what guys? Photos, then videos, videos. Then you have what guys? Chat history, voice notes. These all are called as what guys? Unstructured data. That's it, guys. Unstructured data. So now, guys, so here as a data engineer, we are going to deal with all the three type of data. So what is that basic thing we have to do, guys? As a data engineer, unstructured data, we have to convert into what is that? Semi-structured. And finally, the semi-structured data should be converted to structured here. That's it, guys. Okay. So now this is how we are going to handle the data here. That's it. Okay. So that's it here for the day here, guys, everyone. So this is how we are going to deal with the data here. Okay. So now as a part of this session, as you know, we'll be having the daily session at 7 only, guys. This is the one you have it. And if you have any doubt on this, you can just get back to me on the number. I'll give you my number, direct number, guys. If you have any doubt, you can just call me up directly. And in the same way, you can also see the videos, various videos, the daily class session videos also on my YouTube channel. This is my YouTube channel. You can see the sample, okay, class videos also. So this is the one, guys. So these are the all, okay, things you have it. So tomorrow we'll continue at the same time, guys. If you have any doubt, now you can ask me, please.
Uh, yeah, hi. We
Hmm.
will be getting notes as well, na? With this.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely you'll get the notes as well, okay? Notes along with the
Okay.
material also, you'll get it.
Okay.
Okay. So that's it here, guys. Thank you for attending the session. We'll continue tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll start with the practicals, okay?
Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks. Yeah.
Okay. Any doubt?